House Bill 18, and it's an interesting bill and getting a lot of conversation with the Department of Education, the education community. It's actually, I did get a letter of support just this evening, and it says, Mr. Reedy, thank you so much for sponsoring House Bill 0018. I am a product of the public schools. I have been an employee of the Tennessee public school system since 2010 as a special educator and now behavioral consultant. I see the need for public schools, but I will fight for parental freedoms to choose alternatives. I see things daily in public schools that has brought me and my husband to the decision to look at homeschooling our children. Public schools continue to get tax money for students who are in private schools or homeschools. Why not provide parents who choose to homeschool or send their children to a private school access to the account funds? If a parent wants a better or a different style of education, I believe that money should go to the parent, not the local education agency, or known as the LEA. Tennessee is only moderately homeschool friendly. My mission is to see that changed. Allowing parents who choose private or homeschool to tap into the account is a great place to begin. So with that, I appreciate that letter. So with that, House Bill, what is House Bill 18 and what does it do? The House Bill 18 refers to the Individualized Education Act of 2015. So in 2015, this bill was passed. And with it is, if a child with any of the following disabilities, as defined by the State Board of Education pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated 49-10-102. So with it, it covers autism, hearing impairments, deaf blindness, intellectual disabilities, orthopedic impairments, traumatic brain injury, visual impairments, developmental delay, or multiple disabilities. So that's already in the code. With that, the requirements was that student, if the parent decides to enroll them, was previously enrolled in and attended a Tennessee public school for the 1 full year immediately preceding the school year in which the student received an individual education account, or is enrolling in a Tennessee school for the first time. So with that, the way that the bill would revise and read, where it was just into a public school, the bill reads, was previously enrolled in and attended a Tennessee public school, non-public school, or homeschool for the 1 full school year immediately preceding the school year in which the student receives an individual education account. So 2 years ago, the Department of Education in budget hearings came out and said there were just a little over 100 students taking advantage of that. It was over 4,000 students in the state of Tennessee qualified for it, but there was just that little bit over 100 were actually taking advantage of this opportunity to get their children the help that they need. Now keep in mind, some of the public school systems are not capable or haven't taken the responsibility on in getting instructors, teachers, somebody to help with those children that are in need. Okay, so with that, here's the letter coming back because the question was, how much does this cost? What does it cost the taxpayers? So that was 2 years ago, saying the administrative cost, and I just recalled it was like $300,000 for, and then on top of that, what the students were receiving in help from the state was $6,600. So I made the request just recently, and I asked the question, what was the administrative cost that we're looking at now? So it's costing the taxpayer $350,000 for this individual education account program, and currently it has 137 students enrolled. So it's not a well-used program, but the cost of the program's going up. So with that, if we are not willing to or expand the program and get the kids the help that they need, then this money needs to go back into either the general fund or back into the Department of Education. Why did I bring this bill? I have a constituent in my district, and he has a special needs child. He and his wife pulled him out of the public school system, put him into the private school, and of course tapping into their retirement account, starting to pay to help this young man. So with that, then they ended up taking him out, getting the homeschooling that he needed. But what was interesting, he calls me and says, well, we don't qualify because we pulled him out of the public school system, so the child had to be there for 12 months before you would qualify for the funding to get the help that you need. But in part of the code, and with that, it's later down in the paragraph, it's showing that if they just moved into the state and is enrolling in a Tennessee school for the first time, they would qualify for this. So why would we not allow somebody that's been living here, doing diligently trying to get help for their child, and keep them from getting this help that we've already set into place? So with it, it's going to be a great conversation. We will actually be bringing this up in the Education Committee next week. So with that, certainly I'm sure you'll be reading about this in the news. Certainly leave a comment below if you would like an update on what happened to this bill. I think it's going to be a great conversation piece, because we do need to help our students, whatever the disability that they have. If the school district where you live is not able to take care of your needs, the needs of that child, then we need to do something different. But it's all about education, and our funding comes from the federal, state, and local governments in educating our children.